Please don't do that. Okay, people. Bong Kakat reacts. Okay, back again with another one and some Malaysian content for the weekend. This is Wanderlust Go.
Affordable the food. The biggest culture shock about moving from America to Asia is not what you would think. It's not how affordable the food is. It's not how friendly the people are here or how everything is so convenient. It's that people do not tip here. And it's such a weird thing to get used to. Because where I'm from, you have to tip for a coffee at Starbucks. You have to tip for every meal you go. And
now imagine like, yeah. I'll explain later about the tipping stuff. But imagine like back in the day before you had like payment on your phone and you had to like come up with cash every single time. And you know, if you don't have small money, you have to be forced to tip a lot.
And sometimes you even have to tip at McDonald's. But here in most places in Asia, it's not a very customary thing to do. I was just out at a really nice restaurant getting some really nice nasi lemak and a really nice like high-end scale cafe. Really quality, not just like the local places, but the actual very nice high-quality cafes and restaurants. And it's just not really a thing.
That has to be a big culture shock. If you're from America, you go to Malaysia, you go to like a high-end restaurant, and you don't have to tip.
To do because everything's already included in the bill and they don't expect you to
because they even got a tip at the Starbucks, bro. By the way, Starbucks is not cheap coffee here though.
Tip. You of course can leave if you want, but no one really cares if you tip or not. Whereas if you're from the US or America or some places in Europe, it's crazy. The tipping, the biggest.
Alright, so don't do it. Don't tip if you're in Malaysia. Of course, you can't do it if you have extra peas. I mean, if you're stacked, if you've got the bag, yes, tip. But there's already a service charge and it's a lot. This is why don't tip. We say don't tip unless you have extra money. Unless if the service is extra good and you just want to reward the person. But otherwise, there's already a service charge at every restaurant, which is, yeah. And everybody that earns a living wage, I mean, could be better, of course. I mean, every country could be better. And it's different because in the US, some of them, their whole lives depend on the tip, which is kind of wild, which is kind of like, it's kind of like, okay, don't take me that seriously. I'm just a cat, okay? I'm just a bong kakat, okay? Don't take me that seriously. But that's how the US is the most capitalist country in the world. I mean, Malaysia is capitalist, yes, but not that capitalist, where most of Americans are, you know, have to fend off for themselves. Imagine like being like a, you know, restaurant worker in the US and every single order is like your life, bro. Every single order is your life. Like you have to think about your work is already bad. Like your work is already hard. Like you gotta, you know, you work at a restaurant, it's already hard. That adds to it. Like you have to be anxious. Like the anxiety is off the roof, bro. Like you have to think about this now. Is this guy gonna give me a tip? What if he doesn't tip? It's a whole conflict, which is deliberately created so that, you know, like the way capitalism works is, number one, the government does not give a F about you. The government is practically pointless. They're not there to take care of you. You have to take care of yourself, okay? And also, like they create this atmosphere where the people can never unite because you always have to worry about something. There's always some form of anxiety being in a capitalist country, right? So when you're distracted, you know, that's where they run off with the bag. That's why these people are rich. That's why you have billionaires. That's how they do it. You've got people that make, I don't know, 50 a day. Is that a lot for Americans? 50 a day? I don't know, like 20K a year defending billionaires. Because it's hard to think when every day you got to think about this, right? They create a lot of problems for the people, which can be streamlined. So in Malaysia, in countries in Asia, you just put a service tax and that's it. Everybody gets the same. Yep. Everybody gets a wage. It's a form of equity, a form of equality, I guess. So they don't have to worry every month they get their wage. They don't have to worry every single time, And does that make the service bad? I don't think it does at all. When you don't have to worry about things, small things like that, which could have been easily solved, right, with some form of governance, you can just do your job in peace, bro. And you can be honest about it. Like people who want your tip, they just it's kind of goofy. It's some North Korean shit. It's wild that America makes fun of North Korea, but you've got some North Korean shit going on. So it's kind of goofy. So now they need that tip, so they have to pretend a lot with you. Sometimes extra. If you go to Malaysia, the service is just honest. Like they're just trying to serve you, be nice to you. But I would say different states have different, like if you go to KL, which is the capital, most people are very warm. I guess the service is usually good. If you go to the more non-touristy states, I'm looking at Johor is the south, and Pahang. I'm looking at these gangster ass states, bro. The service is, I'm not saying the service is going to be bad, but they're going to be a bit more aloof. You just need to get used to it. That's just the way it is. And I don't give a F, because as long as you bring me my food, which what I came there for, I don't really care. I am a local. I don't need all the niceties. Save your energy for the tourists, I guess. But those are not, Johor, Pahang is not tourist states. Not traditionally so. And they're a bit more gangster over there. I don't know why it is what it is, okay? That's just the way it is, okay? And I'm used to it because I kind of grew up in the South. So it's just the way people are, okay? You just have to accept it, okay? But KL is mostly very warm. If you go Ipoh, very nice, very warm service. Also, please do tip if you can. Like if you've got extra money, you want to make someone happy and they give you a very good service, especially sometimes you get very good service. Tip them. Just give him a $5. If you're like, if you're feeling, you've got more to spare, give him a 10. If you're like a psycho, give him a 50. But a 5 or a 10 is all right. Also, if you order online, do give them a tip, because online is a bit more random, because they don't, those people that deliver food to you from the online Grab or Shopee, they are, how do you say this? They are gigging, okay? They are gig workers, so it's a bit more, they might get an order and then the next time there might not be an order. So that one is a bit more random, right? Because it's the gig industry. That one, try to tip as, just give them a 2 or a 3. If you've got a bit more respect, give him a 5. If you're a psycho, give him a 10 or a 50. Yeah, try to tip them, because the job is a bit harder and a bit more random than someone in the service industry. Also, do not tip in Japan. Please don't do that, okay? I've worked with, this is a long time ago, right? I learned this, not the hard way, I wouldn't say the hard way, but learn something about Japanese people. If they do something and they do it to just do it, don't ever pay them. They will take it as an insult, okay? Like I had some Japanese lady do, this is proper work, by the way. This is the actual work where there's a budget for it. And we're like, how much do we pay you? No. They would actually take it as an insult if you won. She said she was doing it for the country, bro. She said she was doing it for the country, just to promote her country, okay? So no, they have a different set of, rules over there in Japan. Like they would take it as an insult, because they already have an allocation for this. I'm already paid for this. I don't want to take nothing extra, okay? But in Malaysia, it's fine. Just tip if you want to tip, okay? Just to make someone happy for that day. But otherwise, you don't need to. If you're like, if your wallet is feeling kind of light, okay, if the bag is not dropping at your feet, don't. The service charge is a lot. Okay, it might be cheap to foreigners, but I mean Europeans or Westerners where your currency is stronger. But to us, the service charge is a lot already. Okay? Yeah, that's all for now. Peace.
Yup.